Hello everyone, it's Keren here from tuppencecoloured.co.uk. Thank you for joining me, and today's project is a marquee card. If I remove the belly band and open the card, you can see that the message and the stamped image is revealed. This kind of card's been around for a little while. I found it in this book, which is called Interactive Cards, and there it's called a magical marquee. I've seen it on quite a few other places around the internet, but this is my version of it, so if you'll stick with me, I'll show you how I made my version. I've got a piece of Night of Navy cardstock, and I've cut it to 10 inches that way by 5 inches that way, and I've scored it at 2.5 inches and 7.5 inches so that I get a 5 by 5 gatefold card. And I've also taken a piece of DSP, Designer Series paper, and this is from the Maritime collection, and this is one of my favourite collections, particularly for, shall we say, blokes cards. And I've chosen this pattern, and on the other side is a very nice rope knotted pattern. I like this side. I've cut a piece of it down to 4 3/4 inches square, and I've sliced it in half, so that's at the 2 3/8 point mark. Okay, I've got my 2-inch circle punch, and I've cut a piece of copier paper to use as a template, and I've already done one half, and what I've done is I put some sticky on the back of that, and I lined it up where I wanted it to go, and then I used that as a cutting guide to help me cut the aperture in the right place. So now I'm going to show you how I'm going to do the other side. And the reason why you're not seeing the first side is we had a bit of a haulix. So we're going to line this piece up and stick it down. Right, now again, that's check that I'm in the right place. No, come up a little bit. And it does pay to be a little bit fussy about this, okay? And again, with my circle punch, I can use that as a cutting guide, and I can go right in, line that up, and punch. And there's my nice neat aperture. Now, because I want to cover the front of the card with some pattern paper, I need to line up me fronts as well. I did try cutting it all in one go, which is one of the things that was in an earlier take. It didn't work because these punches, while they are very, very, very good, it was just too much of a struggle to cut through the card and the DSP, which is quite a heavy paper. So I'm doing it in 2 bits. So what I've done is I'm just going to tack the paper down for now by putting in some some snail, and I'm just sticking my fingers all over it to take off some of the tack. And I'm going to work the same way again. And you can see this is one that I started, and it's already been chewed up a bit. So I'm going to make sure that this one goes into the right place, because I don't want chewed up paper. And the easiest way to do it is to turn it over so that I can see where my cut lines were before. Got my apertures hopefully in the right place. So now I'm going to take them off, and I'm going to come in with the snail. Now I'm going to do the panel that goes in the inside. So I've got myself a piece of real red cardstock and I've cut it down to 5 inches by 3 inches. And on the back panel of my card, I've measured and marked 1 inch from the fold that side, 1 inch from the fold that side, and I've put a little bit of snail there and detacked it again just to hold that in place while I get everything lined up. So again, I've got circular paper, bit of snail on the back, and I'm going to line that up in the middle. Now my aperture this time is my punch this time. The punch I'm using this time is 1 3/4 inches, so that it will sit inside the central panel, and there'll be a little bit of a rim around it. So same trick again. I'm going to use that as a guide to position my punch. And there it is, all ready to sit inside the card. So off camera, I've stamped out and embossed the anchor, which is from this stamp set, which is Guy Greetings, which is full of lots and lots of lovely things that are very, very useful for making cards for the gentleman. And I've embossed it in gold, stamped it in gold encore first. Don't know whether my ink pad needs refreshing, probably does. So still with my panel that I just marked the hole out of, I'm going to just mark lightly through there where I want my icon to go. So I take that off, and I'm going to put this down, I think, with a little bit of wet glue, because there will be quite a bit of friction going on top of that, and I want to make sure that it's in the right place. So I'm going to centre that and centre that again, and I'm just going to wiggle that, a bit of wiggle room, so that it's nicely centred in my panel, and I think I'm happy with that. Yes, I am. Right, so the next thing is the flaps that go over the top. Stop my pen from making a bid for freedom there. Now I cut these using these dies, the Banners Framelits die, and I used, if I remember, I think it was that one. Let me just check. Yeah, that one. So it's the third largest. Count 1, 2, 3, it's that one. And I trimmed it down to 3 inches, just about from that point to that point. And I put a fold, scored a fold at 1/2 inch in from the edge, and I've put in some sticky strip. And I'm going to align that edge up with the edge of the card and fold it over and bring that up and fold it in, and then I'm going to do the same with the other one, and I'm going to fold that in because I want to make sure that those are covered up, which they just about are. Bring that in slightly and fold that over and cover that up. And now when I open the card, they will move out nice and tidy. And it doesn't matter if that one just did a very nice, little bit of an iris thing over there. That doesn't matter at all. Right, so what remains to be done now? This will go over the top, but before I do that, I want to stamp some sentiments on it. So I'm going to do that off camera, if you don't mind, because I'm going to be stamping and embossing, and it's going to take me a few minutes. So I'll see you on the other side. So I've stamped the You're My Anchor sentiment and Happy Birthday from that guy greeting set, and now I'm going to glue it down to the back panel of the card. So I am using sticky strip because this sort of card gets people really wanting to have a play with it, and it's going to need to be quite well glued down. So sticky strip is very, very strong. So that's my adhesive of choice for this one, and I've centered it up between those marks. And now when I close it and open it and close it. So finishing touch for the inside, I've cut a bit of the gold foil card, and I cut a 1 3/4 inch circle out of the gold foil card, and then I put it back into the 2-inch circle punch and punched it out again so that I got that ring. And again, I'm going to put this one down with a few dabs of wet glue. Very, very carefully center that over the top. I don't know if you can hear, I don't know whether this is going to come out in the recording or not, but I've got a circus that's pitched its tent just across the road, and at the moment they're playing Another One Bites the Dust. Okay, so I'm going to let that for the glue to dry while I work on the belly band. For the rosette that goes on the belly band, I've taken a 1.5 inch wide strip of my 12x12 DSP, and I've scored it at 1/4 inch right the way along the length and pleated it. And I've done that off camera because really it took quite a bit of time and you don't really want to be seeing it. So when I've joined the two ends together, I've wound up with something that looks a little bit like an old-fashioned pleated lampshade, the kind that my mum used to have at home. And I've decided that I want this side facing outmost. Got a little bit of, just a bit of scrap card that was left over from another project, because this bit really isn't going to be seen. Actually matches the theme quite well, but it could have been anything. It could have been the bit of card that you made a muck up when you were stamping on, any of that. Right, now, so I've put sticky strip on it. You need something that's going to grab pretty quickly. I've seen it done with hot glue. I have in the past given myself 2nd degree burns with a hot glue gun, so I'm not going to risk that on video. So I've just surrounded it with my pleated piece, and I'm just going to squash all of that down and squash it flat, and there's my rosette. Now I'm going to put my World's Greatest Husband on the front of that and attach that to the belly band, and that'll be the job done. So my rosette has had time to set. I've stuck down the husband with white glue, and I've added World's Greatest on the top. They're both from the same Guy Greeting set. This is a strip of paper from the Maritime DSP set, so it's the same set I've been using all along, and it's on that side, it's got these rather cheerful looking little critters, and this side is a lovely piece of Coastal Cabana. So bring in my card. I've already attached that side with a piece of sticky strip, and I'm going to move that around. And there's my belly band. It's, oh, should have said that's 2 inches wide, shouldn't I? And it's about 10 inches long because the whole card is 10 inches end to end. And here it is, the finished product. One more thing I want to share with you. I forgot when I was making the card that I meant to put these 3 cute little pennants, which again cut out a bit of DSP with a banner, small banner punch. Now, should that ever happen to you and you've already sticky stripped something down, you need to know about this stuff if you don't already. If you're in some parts of the world, they have something called undo. We can't get that in Britain, but what we can get is lighter fluid. It's what's called for a petrol lighter. It's not actually petrol, it's actually naphtha, and it will dissolve away the sticky, but it won't mark or damage your card or paper. And if I hadn't told you about that, you would never have known. So that's my cute little magic marquee card. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm Keren from tuppencecoloured.co.uk. If you want the measurements and some more of the details about how to make it, then just visit my blog. Goodbye now.